but overall, I think that's been like my main challenge when it comes to mental health. I don't really haven't really dealt much with depression. I mean, I have dealt with loneliness, which I may talk a little bit more later on down the road, but it's been mainly just like low self-esteem when it comes to mental health for me at least. So so yeah, well, so that's it's definitely hard things we've all. I said I think that let's even answering this first question, it just shows that mental health comes in different like perspectives and different lights. Like some people think of mental health as only depression or anxiety, and it's definitely a larger spectrum than that. Like people don't realize that low self-esteem is a part of mental health, or even going through like bipolar, or any kind of anything like kind of disorder or anything like that. It can be it can affect your mental health journey. So it's more than just you're going through a depression. So like I said, that's definitely hopefully that's a learning experience with somebody that just automatically thinks that mental health is just one thing when there's is much more than that. So our next question I want to go into is like the reason why I want to ask this question is because all three of us I know are we consider ourselves Christians. We consider ourselves Christ followers. So and within the Christian community, when it comes to it could be a church, it could be a different ministry. I feel like mental health seems to be a topic that like the body of believers or Christ followers want to avoid. So I guess I'm kind of wondering, like in your both of your opinions, and I will answer as well. Why do you think that like mental health is something that the church keeps quiet about?
Um, I guess I can go first on this because I struggle with it to this day anyway. But I feel like, the today church or anybody, of that specific part, they feel like it's not important. Like we're I maybe this is what like everybody doesn't have to agree, but this is the way I feel. Like they feel like we're supposed to be like go 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 go, like do this and this and this, and like they feel like we're supposed to always have like big a huge smile on our faces, like go preach the gospel, do whatever we got to do to just bring that one more, and they just feel like it's just not important. Like it's like if we say open up to somebody, like they think, oh, okay, we you're not really dealing with that. You can just go do whatever you got to do to handle that.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I'm really happy to announce to say that the church I'm going to um, does take mental health seriously. Like every fall and every spring, they do a group therapy, like a 3 day group therapy workshop, I guess you would say. And I did it last year, and it was so good because they have two licensed therapists on staff,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just awesome how great they take it seriously. Um, but outside of that church, I've been it just felt like other Christians just like, are you praying enough? Are you good? I mean, like they expect you to pray for it, and I was like, I am. I'm praying through it, and they just don't think I'm just not praying enough, or I'm not mature enough, and it's just like everybody is in a different season with Jesus and God. Everybody's not on the same season, and they don't quite understand that. BBC compared me to the demoniac in Luke, where like he had like Legion, where like he had all the demons in him, and then Jesus cast out all the demons, and then they went to
Mm-hmm.
the pig, and the pig, like threw, like then like the pig fell off the cliff, like threw himself off the cliff.
Hmm.
They compared me to that story, and I was like, wow. So that's what you think of me, or just mental health in general. So I think it's either to them, it's either like you're possessed, or they just think you're just not taking, Jesus seriously, or you're just not taking prayer seriously. Um, that's been my experience outside of the church I'm going to now. Has just been they kind of like a skewed view of it.
Wow.
Hmm. Yeah, I know that's insane that like you were going originally to, or you still are going to a Christian college. You're going to GCU right now at Grand Canyon University, but before that, yeah, you were going to BBC, which is that Boise Bible College? Is that what it
Yeah.
stands for? Okay, yeah, you were going there, and then for somebody to tell you that they're basically comparing your journey when it comes to mental health to a demon possessed, person like that. I said that's definitely crazy. Like I said that's just scary that's I guess that's the viewpoint that or the attitude that we could have as Christians to even like almost reject the idea that like not everybody has a perfect life. Like I guess like I said, I guess we just, I don't know, that's just crazy that like maybe everybody expects you to kind of have the fake smile and they ask how are you and they really just want to hear you say good and you good good just kind of that casual let's go, but they don't really want to hear how you're doing. I think is kind of what it boils down to. They may ask how are you, and if you start kind of open up about something, they're like, oh, okay, well, pray about it, and I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I'll pray for you, and kind of just kind of close that subject right quick because it's like I don't want to
Right.
get too deep.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
I mean, I wonder they probably just don't quite understand it. It's especially if you were me and you were very intense about it, and because my diagnosis is extremely intense. It's like it's not just a basic. I'm sad, then I'm happy. It's a very intense, and it can be very scary to look at it on an outside perspective. But it's just like they don't really, maybe they just don't have the capacity to say anything, but at the end of the day, I feel like as Christians, we should just kind of like just be sympathetic. And you don't have to talk to me. You could just sit next to me at lunch or in the classroom and just like sit and be silent. And that's okay. I do that all the time with my grandpa. I don't really talk to my grandpa. I just sit next to him and let him know that somebody is there with them. I think people assume we need to talk to them. And it's like, no, you could just be silent next to me and I won't care.
Right.
yeah, yeah, I know I do hear that phrase that like silence is golden, and sometimes in that case it can be when you're like I said, sometimes the best thing to do sometimes is just to be there, for somebody, even if you don't even have to speak. Sometimes you can just physically be there for someone or even just pray for them, even if that person doesn't know that you're praying for them. Like, so that's very important as well. So, and like I said, some of it probably does come with, like, I guess maybe ignorance or maybe not enough experience with somebody that has gone through a journey like that. So, I mean, that definitely can be very possible. And I know even with like my church as well, I can say that I think they deal with it, pretty good overall. They have different classes for different different life events. Like I know they have a class for like widows, they have some for people going through divorce and a bunch of different, classes that I guess are set according to what you're going through. So I feel like our class overall, I mean our church overall has like classes that, you know, that take on those kind of situations. So I'm definitely happy for that overall. But I think yeah, in general, maybe everybody, especially within the Christian community, has a very negative look into mental health. And this is definitely like in no way like attacking the Christian community, because I definitely wouldn't be attacking my own community. Like I love my community, I love the believers, everybody and anybody and everybody, as I love everyone. So I wanted to definitely mention that right quick. And I think like yeah, when it comes to mental health, like some people may think that you're just letting your feelings overtake you, and that like Satan is winning over your life. Basically, is maybe what people are thinking that you're putting your feelings before God, or that you're making your feelings, you're trying to make your feelings more important than than then the idea of like realizing that God can bring you through that storm, which of course we know that God can bring us through any storm, but maybe people automatically think at first that when you're talking about a problem that you're going through, that we're not thinking that God's going to bring us through that storm for some reason. Maybe on their end, that's probably what they're thinking, and maybe that's why there is such a negative attitude towards it, because they think maybe that we don't that maybe they think that if we're going through a problem like that, that our relationship with the Lord's maybe not that strong, which that definitely is definitely a wrong attitude to have with that, because yes, Satan will do whatever it takes to make you miserable, because all three of us are Christ followers, and he'll do anything to like steal, kill, and destroy our joy and our happiness. And sometimes we do, unfortunately fall into some sadness. And but we know, like, so we can constantly remind ourselves that the Lord is there with us. And but at the same time, we know that we want to have a safe space to open to people. And you would think that church is the safest place to go to if you don't have a close relationship with your family. Like a church would be like another really good place to go to talk to somebody about these kind of problems, because it's sometimes you just need a listening ear. Like sometimes, unless we know that God is our true counselor, of course, but it's good to have another listening ear there that can physically, someone can physically respond, and like Alex was saying, being sympathetic, through the journey that you're going through. And honestly, I feel like everybody has a different reaction to it. Like I said, I feel like most people have I feel like most people have like a negative connotation. Maybe from people that I know, people have like a negative idea of like mental health, because like whenever I do see that, like if a celebrity or like a athlete like maybe didn't attend a certain event due to mental health, I feel like maybe it has a certain kind of attitude that's kind of looked down upon. So honestly, I guess I don't know, I guess maybe just here in the South, maybe, or maybe just all around the world. Maybe it's just a overall kind of a negative attitude, like especially when it comes in with the Christian community.
Yeah, yeah. And we're not meant for this life to be alone. I mean, obviously, we want the one-on-one connection with God, but like there's a reason why he created Eve so that Adam wasn't alone. Like, so it would make sense that we would need to be with each other um and stand firm, because you need that person, because sometimes that person can just believe the lies of Satan, so you need somebody else to be like, no, that's the lie. Here's the truth.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very good point. So just yeah, it's just very, very, crazy how that we deal with this topic within the church, because you would think that come before the Lord, and and you would even think within the church that you can do that, and if people see that you are doing that, and then maybe ask about the situation, like is everything okay, and then you start kind of telling them about it, then they want to like slowly kind of back up. It's like I don't know if I want to deal with this, because it might get messy, or it might be scary, kind of being involved with something like that. So yeah, so it's just um definitely a crazy journey that we can go through when it comes to mental health. And when it comes to mental health, I feel like it's much more to it than just letting Satan make us feel depressed, because it's almost as if people think that those with mental health problems like desire to have these problems, which why would we want to be depressed, or why would we want to be anxious? So, so that definitely doesn't make any sense. We want to overcome those battles, and we just want a listening ear. We want somebody to just be there for us. And like you mentioned, Adam had Eve, from the very beginning. Like it just goes to show that like no one should go through life alone. So it's definitely important to just to be that listening ear, or to even be a word of encouragement, be that Barnabas out there. So that's definitely important when it comes to being not just going to church, but being the church. So